like just starting this story, sharing this story. How much kaya kamatum. But you might get away is here, but we'll go ahead and my merch when you kaya the mashaya mag husi. Um, so this story is about how people got fire. The In the olden days, it said in the story that people didn't have fire, and people were dying. You know, the sun would go down, and people would die. The elders, especially, and the little kids would pass on during the night because it was very cold. Oh yeah, they would cry. You know, they would bury somebody at the next day, and then we watch them. You know that almost every night there was somebody that died. So the people were crying a lot and goya and wapok haichuk, you know, the different animals around, and they were seeing them. And oya, the one day they were crying again because some people died, and the roadrunner came by there, and the roadrunner saw them and asked the question, you know, what happened. And so they told him, you know, that some people die, and then oya, the elders or people that were there saying that this road this people die every night, and that it's just hard, and you know we don't we try to get ready for the heat, I mean for the cold, but it's not doesn't work here. Sometimes, you know, almost every night somebody dies. But yeah, Maagi, the road runner, you know that I know where to get something to help you out, and so people will stop dying, you know, something to keep you warm. And so the people were asking, you know, how do we do that? You know, how can we get it? And he said, you know that there's a thing that comes up in the east and it goes down all the way and it goes down in the west. That thing is called tash. You know, we know that. But that tash, he has a ball of fire, a torch that he carries across the sky, and he goes and in the evening time the torch goes down, and then he goes to, you know, goes down and goes to sleep. But I'm arguing that how much come that you know, can you get us this thing, this fire? So they said, yeah, I can get it for you, but it's gonna cost, you know, some, you know, it's gonna be because the fire is sacred. It's something that Masuta, you know, the Kuritash. He doesn't like any. He also want anybody to have the fire because it's his, you know, Hugaduwikamach. He's the one that runs the fire up above. So, but I can get you some. But I need to tell you that when you see this fire, it's very scary. You know, the flames lick up, and you know they go up, and oh yeah, you know that you're gonna be very afraid of it. And when you feel it, it's hot. You know, and if you touch it, you might burn yourself. Boy, amage how much come that they were willing to get it, even because there's a lot of people that are dying, so they're willing to go ahead and get that fire. My womb, you know, whatever way that he wanted. So the um the roadrunner kind of thought about it for a while, and he started making a plan. He was going outside and then he came back to the people, and he told them, you know, I need you to get a pot, a old, you know, like a pot that's broken, that maybe halfway almost. So they ran around and they got a big pot, you know, one of those potteries that are broken on the bottom. He said, put it in the center of the community. And so they put it down, and they said, bring all the twigs and all the little grasses and all the chips, bring it all, the bark of the trees, you know, mashurik, and bring it all and put it in this pot. And so the people ran around and they got it and they put it in the pot, and then he came back, and then he said, I need your assistance. He said, I need the four of the fastest runners in this community. What is this? They have to run real fast, be very fast, and they have to be brave. Because when they see this fire, it's really, really scary. And they're gonna have to, you know, run fast. Because again, Kuritash, he doesn't like anybody uh, he doesn't want anybody to have to fire. So they said, okay. And so the people went around and they were saying, what about what's his name? That one guy. Oh yeah, how about that guy? And oh yeah, they got the four of the fastest runners and they brought him to Kuritash, and they painted them all up. And the runners, they used to have long hair, and they would put a bun in the back of their head so that their hair will stay out of the way, and they would paint them, like stripes or dots or different things to give them strength. That, you guys be ready, give everybody some food, enough food to last for 4 days. So you got these gourds, they put the food in their pottery, put the food and water, and they said, we're going to walk, we're going to go for a long ways. They said, in about 4 days, you're going to see one of these guys coming from the east, and he's going to have this thing called fire, and he's going to run up here, and I'm telling you, you're going to be very afraid. You're going to be very afraid because you've never seen it. You don't know, you're going to be afraid because you don't know what it's going to do, and it's very dangerous. So they said, Mosapa, and the people said, we're not going to be afraid, we're not going to be, we want that fire, so we're going to be here. Roadrunner said, no, you are, I already know it. Mom people choose I just a little bit. So he said, okay, let's see what happens. He said, and he said, get those some of the younger ones that are fast runners, but they're not going to go with us. And some of those need to take a blanket or a hide or whatever, and go sit up on that mountain in 4 days. Go sit up on the mountain in the nighttime, and when they see that light coming, that fire, they're going to know, and they're going to run down the hill, and they're going to tell everybody, hey, hurry up, come, and they're all going to gather together, because that fire is going to come, and you're going to welcome the fire. Okay, so that's what they said. We'll do that again. We'll go ahead and wait. They said, we're going to go at night. We're going to walk at night, because Kuritash is up there, and he can see us, and he's going to know what we're doing. He might figure it out. So they said, okay. But yeah, they got their stuff ready, and the runners, the fastest runners, they all came and got ready. And then that evening, when the sun went down, they started to walk. They started to walk towards the east, and they went all the way until the sun started showing up, like it was going to come up in the sky. But the Roadrunner, we need to camp out and we need to hide. So they found this like a cave or something, and they went in there and they were hiding in there. And the sun came up, and it was up above, and the sun couldn't see them, and they were up there and they were in there, and then they were asleep. You see, gawks. And then after when the sun went down, then they came back out, and they said, "Oh, and then he got one of those runners, and he told him, sit down right here, and I want you to look towards the east. And in about 3 days, the 3 days time, one of these guys is gonna be running, and he's gonna have that torch, and he's gonna come give it to you, and you're gonna take it, and you're going to run to the community and put it inside that pot. Put that torch inside that pot, and let those chips and stuff that we put in there, let it start to burn. And the people are gonna be all afraid. They're gonna run away, but you have to go, and so nobody's gonna help you. When it starts to burn, you put some wood in there, some wood in the fire, and then they'll catch it, because the fire is very, very dangerous, but it likes to eat the wood. So and that's what it eats, the food, the wood. So get some wood and put it on there, and let the fire start to burn. He said, but when the guy comes and he gives you, you're going to be very afraid. You're going to be very afraid of the fire, because you've never ever seen anything like it. It's like tongues. They lick up, and then the sparks that fly off of that. And you're going to be very afraid. Once you feel it, it's heat. You're going to be very afraid, but do not be afraid. Be very brave. Grab that torch and run as fast as you can. Run to the community. But I tell you, and the guy said, "Oh no, I'm not. I just say, but then I'm not afraid. I'll stand here. I'll wait for the." And when they come in, then the Roadrunner said, "No, no, no, no. I already know you. It's a Martian. You're gonna be very afraid." So they left that guy there at that place, and they started walking again. They walked all night, and when they saw the light coming up, the same thing happened. They found a place to hide, and they went and they went in there and hid, and they slept all day. And the next morning, when the sun went down, the next night I meant. So the sun went down, and they got up again, and he told another one of the runners, one of the other runners, sit down right there and wait, and told them the same thing. And then, that night they continued on, and they went, and then the sun was coming up again, and they camped right there again, and they slept. And then the next day, they told him, you're gonna stay here. And he was keeping the fastest runner, but the next slowest runner was right there, and he told him, "You stay right here." And again, the same thing. When you see this fire, you're gonna be very afraid. And like, I just say, no, 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 no. You're gonna be very afraid. Manyaki so much. I already know you. You say you're brave, but again, you'll be very afraid because you're human. But you need to take that fire and run, because they're gonna be after us. Those people that protect the fire over there for Kuritas, they're gonna come and they're gonna try to get the fire back, and you have to run. They said, okay. So they walked on the Roadrunner, and the the fastest runner. They went all the way, and they got to that place, and they were there when they got to that place. They saw, it was still dark, and they were looking over there, and the Roadrunner said, "Come here." And they went behind in the wash, behind the big tree, and they're hiding. Well, see that? You see those shadows over there? See that man over there? He's piling the wood together, and he's looking and said, "Oh yeah, I can barely see it. I can see it." They're gonna go, and they're gonna make a fire, and they're gonna light that fire. And then when they light that fire, they're going to put a torch in there, the one that Kuritash is going to cause, because he's going to climb the dome sky. That was right at the edge of the world, where the dome sky ended and the earth, like that. He's going to climb up here, and he's going to start running. This is where he runs, up there on top of the world. So he's going to run up there, but today he's not going to run, because we're going to steal that fire. So you stand right here and you watch. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get close. And when they light that fire, you're going to see those men. When Kuritash see that house, and he looks real close, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that house in there. Kuritash is in there with his wives." And he's in there. And when he comes out and gets ready to grab that torch, they're going to come, and they're going to, his body. And they're going to braid his hair. They're going to make it all so he's a runner, and they're going to paint him. And so when those guys see him, they're going to all go over there to greet him. They're going to, wait for him. And then when they do that, they're going to leave that fire just for a little while. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to come as fast as he. And then when I give you that fire, you're going to be very afraid of it. Even how much? When you see them lighting that fire, you're going to be very afraid, because the way it looks, you've never seen this. So you're going to have to run as fast as you can, because they're going to be following us. We're right here. They don't want anybody to have the fire. So they're going to be chasing us. They're going to try to shoot us. They're going to try to do anything to try to make us drop that flame, because they don't want us to have it. So the man said, "No, I'm very brave, man. And it's Yugi, and go get it and bring it. I'm gonna, So the Roadrunner said, "I know you. When you're so much about your stupid, even though people say that, you're just human. But that's what we're gonna do. And so the Roadrunner, in the dark, started going from tree to tree, little bushes, try to make it real quiet, going. And those guys are over there talking. They're talking about what they did, that whatever, they're piling the thing, and then they start to light the fire. Now, there's different stories, different versions. One of them says that they took one of the sticks, like with a flat thing, and they go, and then it starts to burn. Another stories, some stories say that they used the flint, but they took the two stones and they hit it together. But anyway, the fire starts. So the fire starts and it's going, and they're starting to put little things. And the guy is standing back there in the trees and he's looking and he's starting to, oh my God. And then they've never seen this. And it starts, and then they're starting to blow on it. And the fire starts to go. They put their more wood on there and then it starts to burn. And they take that one torch, and they take it and they put it in the fire. And they're there and they're looking at it and the fire starts to grow and it starts to, and this guy that's standing in the back, the fastest runner, he's standing back there and he feels that warmth of the fire and he's thinking, oh my God, he's hook. But at the same time, he's looking at it and he's very afraid, like a monster or something. Again, he's never seen this. So this guy goes over there to the Roadrunner, runs over there, Tate, we call it Tate, over there to the fire, and just like he was right there hiding behind this one shuki tree that's right there at the edge of the world. And he's looking, and then they hear a commotion, and all those guys look over there, and Kuritash comes out of his house, and his 4 wives are with him, and they come and they start to, paint him, and they're braiding his hair, and they're combing it, and they're making him all ready to run. And these guys walked over there, and you see, so they're all walking over there, and he's, you should. And so he's, they're greeting him, and they all moved away. And the Roadrunner saw his opportunity. Tate ran over there and he grabbed that fire. Then in his beak, he grabbed it and he started to run. He started to take off. And Kuritash is there looking down that way towards, and he sees the Roadrunner. He sees that fire start, and he's looking at it. Hey, and all those guys turned around and they ran back to the fire, but the Roadrunners took off, and some of them started chasing the Roadrunner. But others grabbed their bows and arrows, and they had put the arrows inside the fire. So they grabbed some of those arrows, and they started to shoot at the Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner's going through the trees like this, and he's going, and he has that fire, and he's going like that, and the fire, the arrows are shooting right beside him. He's running, and he's ducking, and he's going back and forth. And all this, those harpot, they call it harpot. And the arrows, and they're going, and they go, and so he goes, and he looks, and that guy is standing there, and he's just, and the Roadrunner's coming straight at him, and the Roadrunner says, kick it, get it, and the men are coming right behind the Roadrunner, and he's standing there, and the Roadrunner takes that torch, and he puts it in his hand, and he says, money, and the guy is just standing there, and he's looking at that fire, and his Roadrunner turns him around, and he pushes him, and he takes off, and like he almost falls down, and he gets up again, and he starts to run, and he takes off, and then he starts to catch his footing, and he goes, and he runs, the fastest runner. He's holding that fire, and he feels the warmth, but again, he's afraid of these guys that are chasing him, and afraid of this fire, and he's running, and he's running fast, and they're catching up to him. He's going faster and faster, and he starts to go, and they start to, start to lose him, because he's a really fast runner. And he's going, and he's feeling that, that warmth, and he gets used to it, and he's looking at the fire, and he gets used to it, and he knows it's a powerful medicine. So he runs to the next guy. He knows where he's standing at, so he runs over there. And the guy is sitting out there, and he's looking out in the east, and he's supposed to be coming pretty soon. I don't know, it's still dark, and way over there, he sees a little spot of light, and he's wondering, what's that thing out there? And he looks at it, and it's coming closer and closer, and then he realizes that it's coming towards him, and he gets up, and he stands up, and he looks at that. Oh my God, it's coming over here, and then he's coming straight towards him, and he's standing there, and he looks something behind the fire. There's some black figures that are coming, and that runner, the fastest runner, runs, and he's running up to that guy, and he says, oh my God, and he recognizes him, and the fastest runner takes it, and he gives him the fire, and he says, morning, and that guy is so afraid, he's just there, morning, and the guy is just standing. So that guy spins him around, and he pushes him as hard as he can, and that guy takes off, and like he's running down, and he almost falls down, and then and he takes off, and he runs and runs and runs, and the same thing, he's getting used to that fire, but again, these people are following him, and he goes as fast as he can, and then he loses them, but it's going up and down the washes and everything, and through the little mountains and whatever. And then the third guy is sitting there, and he's looking up there, and he sees the same thing way over there coming. And then he's like, oh my God, it's coming this way towards me. And he stands up, and he's looking, run, don't you? And then he's always thinking, where do I run? Where can I run to? This thing's coming. And then he recognizes that guy that's coming. It's just that next fastest runner. So he's coming, and the same thing happens, and he gives him that fire. And he's afraid of it. He's looking, and he turns him around, he pushes him, and he takes off, and he goes and goes, and he runs as fast as he can. And he's running. And he's running, and he sees that guy sitting over there waiting. He's way over there in the dark. He sees him, and he's running. And he's looking, and he's getting closer, and then he notices that he's standing up. And the same thing, like he was afraid, and he was thinking, I was like, and said, it's me. And so he gets close to him and gives him the fire. And he says, Merlin. And the guy just says, Merlin. He pushes it, turn around, he pushes him, and he's really, really tired. But that new guy, that fresh runner, the slowest of the 4 fastest runners, he takes off, and he runs. And by then, the other runners that were following him, they turned around and went back to Gulitash, and he's running, and he's holding that torch, and he goes all the way to the community, and he looks up, and meanwhile these guys are way up there on the hill, and they're looking up there, and they're just kind of like, hey, what are you doing? Maybe they got, maybe they're later, and they see this little ball coming way over there, and then they're looking, and then looking, and that thing's coming down and getting close to the community. And they run down the hill, and they start yelling at the community members. And all the community members jump out of their house, and they run over there, and they're waiting, and they see this little ball coming way over there, and it's turning more and more light, more brighter, and it's coming closer to them, and they're like, oh my God. And they all take off, and they run into their houses, and they close the door. Oh my God, we're going to die today. Oh my God, this thing is going to hit. And they go, and the guy, the fastest runner, the last fastest runner, he runs, and he noticed that all the people are standing there. All of a sudden, they just disappeared. He's kind of smiling, but he's running. He's used to the fire now. So he goes, and he sees that pottery in the middle of the community, and he puts it in there. And all those chips and those little grasses and those taumani, they start to burn. Kitak. They start to burn, and so he's looking at it, and he starts to, like, oh my God, it's warm. And then he starts to add some more, and after the little chips start burning, then he puts a piece of wood in there, a small piece of wood, and then after that he puts more pieces of wood on there, and then the fire starts to light, and it starts to burn more. So then he's there, and he's feeling that warmth, and slowly, the people are out there. They're in their houses. Scary monsters coming. And they're all looking at each other, and then and then you look, hurry, go check, and they're pushing each other, and finally one of them goes over there, and they open, they kind of look out the house, look out there, and they see that guy standing there, and they feel that warmth coming from that fire. Hey, you. And then they open that blanket or that piece of hide. They open it, and they feel the warmth coming into the house. Hey, Boogie. And then they start coming out all over. The community members all start coming out, and they walk towards that fire, and they're looking at it, and it's very scary, but man, it feels so good. And they keep walking towards it, and they get close to the fire, and they see that guy standing there, and he's just kind of like, Boogie. And they're all like, and the kids are over there, and then they put some wood in there, and then they run back because they're afraid of the fire. But after a while, even the men are saying that, put another piece of wood in there, and they stand back, and man, it's so warm. And after a while, the Roadrunner and the other three runners come running into the community, And they get there and the Roadrunner tells them, eat or the money. This is fire. This is will keep you warm. And he said, it's very dangerous. If you touch it, you'll burn. You will burn. And it will make a mark on your skin and it will hurt. It will hurt very, very much. So you need to honor it. You can't play with it. You need to honor it. Now, each one of you can put a piece of wood in there and get some wood for yourself. Go into your house and take that fire and put it in the middle of your house. It'll warm the whole house. And put some wood on top of it and it'll start to burn. And it'll warm your place. You can never warm your water. You know, if you get some pot, put it on there and warm your water and you can, you know, like use the water to hot, or you can cook. You can get some beans or some things and put it in there and put it on the fire and it will cook your food and it will taste good. The animals, you know, you can kill, don't kill me. The other animals, you can kill them. And then you can cut them up and put them on the fire. You can just throw them in the fire. Or you can put them in a pot and put water in there. Or you can do something else, but you cook it with this fire. It will help you. Now, the fire is free. Nobody owns the fire. Kuritash owns the fire, but now you have that ownership as well. The community owns the fire. So you take your fire out, and at night, before you go to sleep, when the Kuritash goes down, you're going to take the big piece of wood, and you're going to put it on the fire, so that will burn all night long. And in the morning, you just need to kind of shake it up, and it will start to burn again, and you put some new wood on there. Now, if it burns out, again, belongs to the community. What happens? You burn out. You go over there to ask somebody, the next door neighbor, or you know your relative, our fire burned out. Can we have some of your fire? And they'll have some, and they'll give it to you. If they don't have some, somebody else will, and they'll give you another, you know, a stick that's lit, and you bring it to your house and you put it down. But again, if you have a fire and somebody else's fire runs out, you get that and you bring it, and you give it out for free. Do not hog the fire. Do not be stingy with it. Kuritash is stingy with that. But again, we have co-ownership. So don't be stingy with the fire. Give it out freely. It belongs to the community. It's not something that you should hog. Bad things will happen if you hog the fire and don't give it out. Because other people won't give you stuff. If they kill a deer, they're not going to give you any meat. How come? Because you're stingy with your fire. And that goes for everything. And they were there at the fire, and he was telling them, you know, all the rules and stuff, and how to take care of it. And then somebody, when he turned around, one of those, hey, no, turn around, and they turned around the Roadrunner, there's little black spots on the back of his feathers, you know, little black spots. And they looked, and they looked, and the Roadrunners looked, oh, he said, oh yeah, when I stole the fire for you guys, when they stole it and I was running, they had arrows. They're shooting it at me, and I was going, and some of those arrows were almost hitting me. They was right beside me, and those flames were flying. And some of those flames hit my back, you know, back here. And they kind of burned it. That's why all those black spots are on there. And the people said, oh, so the sacrifice that Roadrunner made is evidence. Look at that. The Roadrunner, again, the little spots on there, it's evidence. So a long time ago, when people saw the tate, they would know that that's from when he stole the fire for us. And you honor the Roadrunner, one of the rain callers. So, so that's how Autumn got the rain. That's one of the stories, that how Autumn got the fire and how he survived, you know, in the cold nights. I went to the school some time ago when that movie came out, Moana, and I had just for fun, I asked the kids, where did we get the fire? Who got the fire for us? Maui got the fire. No, I'm not talking. We're not Polynesians. We don't live in the ocean. We're desert people. We're Autumn. And then I told them the story. Okay, this story. So Disney does something That's from someplace else. But this is our story of how we got the fire, how Autumn got the fire. Just check that and share it. Don't be stingy with it. And I hope you don't have any colonized minds around here that are going to try to make money off of any of these stories. Because they belong to our people. They're not written down. They're oral stories. They're told. So just check that again. Don't try to make any money off of it. I'm telling you how much copyrighted by me, this version. And there's a lot of other versions out there. People that put new stuff in there, people that leave stuff out. But be honest with you, that's our history, that's our life all the time. But all right,